So as the Assistant Dean for Online LLM Programs, I work exclusively with our online LLM program. So that will be the primary focus for my presentation today. I know that Jen included a picture of our campus. I wanted to include an additional one here because it really is beautiful, and we hope that someday all of you will be able to join us on campus. I wanted to share a little bit more about our online LLM program. I love this graphic that our marketing team put together because it really shows the global reach that we have in our online LLM program. We have over 40 countries represented across our students and graduates in the program. Even though the degree is in American and transnational law, our online LLM curriculum is oriented towards US law with a focus on the bar-tested subjects. So one distinction from the non-degree program is that you can expect coming into this program that you'll be joining students from all over the world. And as Dean Schmidt mentioned, we do run on a semester-based calendar. So we go year-round with students starting in January, in May, or in August. So one thing we've talked about briefly, and I think when you review the information I shared in the chat as well, is that for students coming into our program, they do need to hold a law degree. So we do accept students in the LLM program from Korea who earned an LLB or a JD degree. But the reason I have an asterisk next to the LLB is because that could be an issue when you decide to apply for the bar. With the DC bar, they have recently given some additional guidance that what is considered a qualifying degree, an LLB degree, would be one that is 83 credits, which is equivalent then to a JD degree. There's a lot more information that you can review on the DC bar's website, but I did want to just explain why there was the asterisk there. We do not require that you are a licensed attorney, so many students in our program have a law degree, but not necessarily a law license. And our online LLM program can be completed within 1 year. So students starting in January, if you study full-time, you would be able to complete the program by the end of the year. I mentioned that we do have a bar-focused curriculum. So in addition to the courses that are offered through the non-degree program, we do have several more. These cover a lot of the topics that are tested on both the multi-state bar exam as well as on the multi-state essay exam. I've highlighted in red here the courses we will be offering in our upcoming spring semester. You'll see the Introduction to U.S. Law and our Legal Analysis course have MPT next to them. So just to reinforce from Dean Schmidt's presentation, those of you taking these courses can expect to see an MPT as both an assessment that you work on during the semester, as well as in the midterm exam and the final exam. So we do try to at least provide some foundational skills as part of the LLM program. As Dean Schmidt mentioned, we also recommend that anybody completing the program also plan to take a commercial bar preparation course to prepare for whichever bar exam you plan to take. Graduates from our program have been admitted to California, Washington, and DC. In addition, they've been admitted to some other jurisdictions as well. I dropped into the chat a link to articles that we've prepared. One of them is oriented for international law school graduates planning to take the bar. So if you read through that article, we provide a lot more background information there. But as Dean Schmidt mentioned, this is in many state bars, it's determined on an individualized basis. So there's a review of your practice experience, of your law degree, of character and fitness, and then in addition, the qualifying LLM credits. So why might you be interested in doing an LLM or the non-degree program? Who might most benefit from this? So just a little bit of background. I mentioned at the start of the presentation that I am a licensed attorney. I worked in the field of immigration law for years, so I can certainly share more insights there. But one important consideration is, well, as you think about this, is how is this going to help me in my career trajectory? And so we found just in conversations with our students and with our graduates as well as with practitioners. There are key practice areas where this LLM degree can be helpful. And so there's a common thread among all of the fields that are listed here, and that they are truly transnational. So if you work in these fields, if you think you might be working in these fields, then obtaining that knowledge of US law, potentially obtaining that dual license, can make you very efficient as you work with your clients. And if you're working within a company, make you a very valuable resource for your employer. All of these fields do involve transnational fields of law. And so if you really want to be able to distinguish yourself in the field, having the knowledge of US law and even better, the law license in the US can really help you as you plan ahead. Dean Schmidt touched upon this, so just to reinforce a little bit, again, the online LLM program is fully asynchronous. That means the content is pre-recorded. You're able to work through that on the days and times that work best for you. Most students that are in our online LLM program are working professionals, and so they appreciate the flexibility that they have in the online LLM program. That flexibility includes not only when you can access course content, but how many classes you decide to take each semester. You can take as little as one course in a semester because we do give students up to 3 years to complete the LLM degree. As you plan ahead in each semester, students can expect deadlines about every 3 weeks. You can also expect a midterm exam and a final exam, very much aligned with Professor Schmidt's presentation. They'll include multiple choice questions and essays similar to what you would see on the bar exam. We are offering guaranteed partial tuition scholarships of 40%. Our normal deadline for that is October 30th. But given that today is October 27th and we want everyone to enjoy their weekend, we have extended that deadline for those of you who are participating in today's webinar through November 17th. So you would have a guaranteed 40% scholarship. The way that is applied is it's on a per credit basis. So that reduces the net tuition per credit to $795. The total tuition for the 30 credit LLM would then be approximately $24,000. There are not additional expenses because the reading materials are included in each of the courses, as are supplemental study guides such as Quimby and Cali. So I think the only other expense is a $25 university fee per semester. So with that, I also did want to just provide some additional links here. I dropped the link for the National Conference of Bar Examiners into the chat. The reason that's really important is I think that is your best first resource as you're exploring your bar options. It's also a great resource in providing some context on what the uniform bar exam is. I mentioned earlier that our graduates have been admitted to California, DC, Washington, and other jurisdictions. I think that the bar of choice and preference for most students is Washington, DC. Not only is it a uniform bar exam jurisdiction, I think the qualifying pass score is a 266, which is a little bit lower than in other states. With it being the UBE, there is a potential for portability to other jurisdictions. Again, though, please check directly with state bars of interest that you might be considering, because that is the best resource for additional information. I also included some links here for obtaining additional resources, both for the MPT and the MEE. Again, there are also resources for the MBE. So related to the MPT, as Dean Schmidt mentioned, you also can access both past MPTs that were administered on the bar exam, as well as the point sheet. So this is all free, it's all available there. So that's a great starting point as you plan ahead. And just to reinforce, we last summer offered, and we do plan to continue to do this, a mini bar prep for graduates from our program. So this was included for free, and it was designed by Professor Tommy, who has a great deal of experience in bar coaching and bar preparation. And so just as a statistic to reinforce what Dean Schmidt shared, 45 of the past 105 MPTs included an objective memorandum. So that's why we include objective memorandum in our legal analysis course, which is also our legal writing course. The other one that Dean Schmidt mentioned, the persuasive memo, or persuasive brief rather, is also a required assignment in our legal writing course. So we do, again, try to provide that foundation for those of you who plan to take the bar exam. I've included my contact information here. I encourage you to please feel free to reach out to us. I think we try to offer a lot of student support throughout the program, and so we want you to be able to have direct lines of communication with all of us, to your professors, as well as to the support team that you can anticipate will work with you. And for those of you who are conflicted between the two, the non-degree program or the online LLM, well, I have great news. You're able to do both. If you complete the non-degree program, then you are able if you complete that with a 3.0 GPA or higher, so that's a B average or higher, you can then complete the LLM degree by only taking 2 additional courses, the Introduction to U.S. Law course, Law 4000, and our Legal Analysis course, which is Law 4004. So with that, I am going to stop sharing. I think there are some questions in the chat, but I unfortunately don't read Korean, so we'll depend on ILDANSA to help us with this.